Sorry, that's just anti-trans.
This is someone called Amelia Majesty. I've covered her a couple of times. I don't think I've ever posted the videos because they've not been that interesting, because I don't really actually dislike this person in any way. I don't dislike anyone because I don't know these people. There was a straight couple in the 70s that both transitioned. Oh, wow. I don't know about that. I'll have to look into it. But yeah, sorry. This is someone called Amelia Majesty. This is revealing my insecurities as a trans woman. I'm just interested. I don't know. Like I said, I've seen this person's stuff. I agree with some things she says. I disagree with other things she says, but I don't know. She's actually really more sensible than you might think, I would say. And that's not a slight on her appearance. It's just the appearance kind of does lead me a little bit, and it's not quite that bad, I guess. That's me admitting my own bias, if anything. But yeah, let's see.
Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about my insecurities as a trans woman. I'm making this video to help other people out, trans or not, but especially trans women know that everyone has insecurities, even the people you watch online.
It looks like Trisha Paytas. I think maybe it's the mouth or something. Like, I don't know. Massive lips are not my thing. I don't think I'd ever get fillers. If I did, I would certainly want them to preserve like the shape, because I think just going all the way over is not, it makes it look a bit like hot dog or something. But hey, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not appearance shaming. If this person is fine with their appearance, then that's all that matters.
I watch so many different trans creators.
Mate, crisis counselor. If it's for a woman that doesn't want to be around men right now. I don't know, this is the problem. We already fucking argued about women-only spaces, and you don't seem like you're movable on that, so I don't really know what to say to you about that at this point. Instagram influencer look. Yeah, I guess. I used to do like the blonde hair and stuff as well.
And I kind of put them mentally on this pedestal. They don't talk about their insecurities a lot. And I feel like it would help more if we heard more people talk about their insecurities so we can relate more. Revealing your insecurities to someone puts you in a position of weakness. However,
I don't think this person is related to Ollie London.
I want to be as open and honest with my audience as I can and be helpful. And this is what I wish someone made when I was starting my transition, or even today. I wish more people were talking about it. So the very first thing
this is something I do actually appreciate, is like candor, you know, and just kind of putting your feelings out there. I like that a lot. So like someone like this, I'd much rather watch than someone very scripted, you know what I mean? Because I like feeling like that I'm listening to someone being candid about their experiences, even if their experiences are very different to mine, even if I don't end up agreeing on everything.
Insecure about would be my position in the trans community. I don't feel that I'm
Oof, I got rid of this shit, man. Listen, stop worrying about it. Stop worrying about it. Stop giving a shit about the people that backstab you. Like, yeah, that's the best advice I can give there.
pretty enough or, you know, doll enough to be that inspirational trans woman that people uplift in the community, right? And then there's this other side, which is more like relatable, intellectual.
I guess she wants to be uplifted. She has 2.78k subscribers. I can't remember how long her channel's been going. So I guess, hey, maybe one day. I'm very much at the point where the trans community is not uplifting me. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I don't mind. I can see even why it's like that. Also a year. Like, that's not terrible. Like, 2.78 in a year. That's not bad. I'm a woke trans bitch. We kind of give me uncanny valley. Listen, I don't think she looks that bad. I'm not into the lips myself. I think if she had more normal lips, I think she would look quite nice, to be honest.
That sort of thing. And I feel like people, when they see me, they don't classify me in that way. So I feel like trans woman that people uplift in the community, right? And then there's this other side, which is more like relatable, intellectual, that sort of thing. And I feel like people, when they see me, they don't classify me in that way. So I feel like in between, like I'm not accepted as the ultimate doll, and then I'm not accepted into this relatable club either.
Hey, I'd like to think I'm at least a little bit intellectual. No one's ever accepted me into either club, and like, fuck that anyway. Listen, the best thing I can say is cut the strings. Those trans people that you know that are cool, great. those that are one disagreement away from stabbing you in the back, just cut them off first. Stab them in the back first, even if you want to, because who gives a shit anymore? Giant furry pink dildo. Yeah. No, I guess that's a pop shield, I guess. I didn't know this is massive. It's probably a lot nicer than mine, to be fair.
And it's like, I'm both, but I'm insecure about where I fit in the trans community because I just haven't, had that huge, overwhelming acceptance on either side. And, basically what I'm saying is, some people will make jokes about me behind my back and, be...
Well, that's going to happen regardless, especially if you're putting yourself out there.
Fake nice and stuff like that. People who are on the more pretty end of the spectrum, and then people who are more on the intellectual / relatable
I wish there were examples. I want to know who she thinks an intellectual is.
End of the spectrum, like not so much involved in beauty. They're a little bit dismissive
Who's an ugly trans woman? I'm sorry, that's too much.
of me, but there's been so many great people who are accepting, but like I'm just trying to find my place in the trans community.
It's almost like the community kind of breeds insecurity, and that the best way is to just get on with who you get on, don't get on with who you don't get on with, and just kind of get on with it, make your content, live your life, get your fucking money. HSTS, like these appeal more to the beauty industry, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, true. I used to do a lot more makeup and stuff than I do now. I think I'm kind of glad I never really earned a huge amount of money, because I might have ended up getting into the plastic surgery shit, and I don't think that would have been good for me.
And like I just feel out of place because I feel like there's so many types of trans women, but I just don't fit in. Like I'm just myself, and like most of us are just ourselves, but
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Like some people do, but like, I don't know. It takes time. It's going to take time. This kind of stuff needs to go out of fashion, and that takes a while. So, I don't know. In the meantime, I have loads of stuff on YouTube I can talk about, so I'm fucking good,
know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of grouping in the trans community. There's the gamers, there's, the dolls, which are obsessed with looks and all of that. And I'm kind of in between, and I'm just relatable, I'm real. I love beauty. I also love talking about current events. I like to game. I'm just not that experienced, but like, my position in the trans community, I just want to feel loved and accepted by my own community, and I don't always feel that way.
You don't need it, trust me. You just need... Listen, people need love and acceptance in general, but it doesn't have to be from who you think it should come from. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of my friends are just like guys, because that's just the kind of people I come across. Like, making music, you mostly just meet a lot of guys, and it turns out some of them are pretty cool, and you can be friends with them and shit, and it's actually alright, Funny how that works.
And I don't know what the issue with myself is. Obviously, I'm happy.
Why is it even an issue with you? Why do you think it's an issue with you? Like these kind of community types, not this person, but like the kind that tend to be in with the rest of the community, they tend to sort of push these kind of majority rules kind of things. Like, if you've got a problem with the community, or you seem to have a problem with a lot of trans people, it must be a problem with you and not them. You know what I mean? Which isn't always the case. Yeah, sometimes, if someone has a problem with lots of different people over time, maybe it is something they're doing, but maybe it's not actually something they're doing, or it's something they're doing, but what they're doing should really be fine.
With who I am, but it's like I'd like to like figure out why the community is so like, separated and it's very grouped. And I
tell you what, as a YouTuber, I recommend watching if you want to understand more about why there's such a separation. They're called like the Mary Chew or something. Like, look that channel up and you'll understand straight away.
I have a hard time fitting into any of those groups. Now, another insecurity that I have is my voice. So I would say my voice is one thing that really gives me away. And
I actually feel the same. Like, when I raise my voice, it's much harder to talk in a pitch that I like. I don't talk super loudly in general, but like when I'm out in public, I have to like try and push my voice. It doesn't sound like very feminine. And like I said, I'm just compelled. I want to be as feminine as I can be within reason. So, but yeah, I don't know. I feel a lot better about it. I used to hate my singing voice because I felt like I sounded male. to an extent, I do feel like my voice is quite limited, especially for singing, especially when it comes to my range, although I've really not been looking after my voice the last few years. Like, I made an album in 2022. I mostly finished it up in 2023. Like, the vocal recordings that I did, like, my voice was not in good shape. There's one of them, like, you can hear it, like, rattling more and more as, like, the song goes on, and I'm like, Jesus, how has no one asked me what the fuck was going on that day? But it's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I do relate so far.
In terms of being clocked, right? And it's like, I do love my...
But accepting myself as a male has actually helped so much with this, because I don't mind my voice as much anymore, because it is deeper because I'm a male. That's just kind of how it is, you know? And that's okay. Like, there's actually nothing wrong with being a male, it turns out. So I don't know. I think, I don't know. Maybe these are all going to be things that I feel like I've dealt with myself. But hey, the other thing to remember is I'm not saying this person should do everything that I've done, and this person should take the same perspective that I have in everything, because that's shit that's helped me. It might not help this person. And this person might make inroads with the trans community that I personally am not very keen on, and be happy, and that's fine. This creator is called Amelia Majesty.
My voice, but I love the way it was before my voice deepened. I used to always be called Malibu Barbie, and I was bullied in school for having such a feminine, voice, and then my voice dropped, and that was a part of my, character and personality, and that depressed me. Some people say I have a feminine voice, some people say I have a really masculine voice, but
I would definitely not say a really masculine voice. It sounds androgynous, I would say. It's not that. It's kind of similar to mine in a way, like pitch-wise.
I would say that does give me away very quickly. And this microphone definitely helps because you can hear me more clearly, and the intonations in my voice, if I didn't have this, then, the audio wouldn't be as good, so you can't hear me. So my voice, I would like to get voice surgery in the future, right? But
voice surgeries are very rare. There was one that I was aware of, like called glottoplasty or something. Because I know someone that was like considering this, but I think it the way it affects your voice, it can sort of, tighten it up an awful lot, so you get a higher voice, but you sound kind of like this, They're rare. Most people don't get these surgeries. Voice training is the way to go, or just have a gay sounding voice like me. Oh, thank you, Hillary Clinton. Yeah. You might sound higher pitched. You might not necessarily sound more feminine, and you might not necessarily sound better or as good as you just did with your male voice.
When it comes to surgeries, I have this paralysis, you don't want to move because it's who to go with. I want to look into my options, but...
Oh, you had vocal cord surgery. Oh, fair enough. Do you know what the procedure was called?
Who to go with? Do you want to go to Colombia? Do you want to go to Korea? Do you want to go to New York? All these places have surgeons, and they all have different results, and you have that kind of paralysis of I don't know who to choose because
Okay, more people get it than I thought. I've never met anyone that's got it. I had one person consider it, and they were told that they were it could fuck up their voice, Voice surgery done in London. Most easiest. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm okay with my voice. I don't think I want to get it changed.
Everyone has different results and things like that. So I could do vocal training, but I feel like for myself, I'm just not, this is another insecurity. I don't have a lot of mind control over my voice, right? I'm not always mindful of how...
I mean, what I would say, this person's almost in an ideal position for voice training, because you sit in front of a camera and stuff, you can practice. It's probably going to go up and down. You're probably going to start the video at here, and then by the time you get to the end of the video, it's kind of gone down to here, but I don't know. Maybe I do that too, who knows? I don't really consciously try and feminize my voice though. I push the upper register, and that's about it. Risk seems to have reduced massively. Okay, fair enough. I need to learn more about it. Minimally invasive feminization laryngoplasty. All right, I'll look into that at some point. Maybe I'm ignorant on that point because I didn't think anyone really got it, but hey.
how my voice is coming out, my accent, things like that. So when I talk, I have many different accents and ways of speaking, and that's because I've been raised around many different types of people. And also, when I was a child, I did my best to try
Oh, Wendler's glossoplasty. That was the thing I was, that's what I was thinking of.
not to pick up an accent from people who are raising me. Also, there's a thing called code switching. Most people do it.
Blair White, I think she sounded like high-pitched and stuff before she transitioned, because she was like a gay guy. And I think she just had one of those voices that was just very high-pitched anyway.
It's where when you're in different environments, you speak differently. Like if you're giving a presentation.
I think ContraPoints is the best example of voice training. Possibly Philosophy Tube, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure ContraPoints did like voice training and stuff.
You have more of a formal, very well-rehearsed way of speaking. And then when you're having a conversation with your friend, you use more relaxed language and maybe you have a different accent. And also if you speak differently with your family, if they're from different parts of the world or different parts of the country, they may have an accent that you only use with them. So yeah, people sometimes like comment about like the way that I speak or words that I use, and it's like I can't help it. Like an accent is a product of your environment.
Yeah, shit's annoying. I'm thankful that people don't really talk about that kind of stuff. Like, does someone like this really need people like constantly going on, oh, you said that kind of weird, you said that kind of weird, you know? Like come on. At a certain point, just like chill. Like, it's gonna get old very quickly.
I'm not very
Oh, thank you, Sky.
mindful of how I speak all the time, right? I obviously try and be kind, but my accent or the way that I pronounce words or even my pitch, like how high I go, how low I go, I'm not always mindful of that. And that's why I feel like voice training, like, yeah, that's nice, but like I'm just going to end up talking the way that I normally do. And when I want to sound rehearsed, then I'll sound rehearsed.
I think I get what she's saying, to be fair. I'll see you later, Hillary. Because I did kind of try for a while. It just got very difficult very quickly. Like, it can hurt your throat very easily.
Right. And what the vocal surgery does is it controls your voice in a way where, you know, it limits the lows, that you can't hit the lows, and it makes you naturally speak higher. Another insecurity.
I think I do that already. But like, if I want to do a low voice, I can. Like, you know, it's very easy to just sort of slip in between them like that.
That I have is my face. I have asymmetries in my face. I've been through many.
Bitch, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm pretty sure my face is very asymmetrical. Like, one of my eyebrows is almost always, like, longer than the other. Oh, thank you, Ginger Blaze. Yeah, I sound unique, I know, for sure. And, like, that's kind of a reason I didn't want to change my voice. Like, the older I got, it was more like, you know, like when I make music and stuff, like my singing voice can only really come from me. And that's kind of important to me. Like, you know, I want to do stuff that sounds original, ultimately. And you can't just write original songs. You have to perform as an original as well. And I think a lot of people tend to ape each other. And I've been guilty of the same thing, for sure.
Different things that have altered my physical appearance, and I have lots of scars on my face and also on places on my body. I just don't like the asymmetries.
Oh yeah, Philosophy Tube. I only really watch her to complain about it, to be honest. I'm not a fan at all. But yeah, like ContraPoints, I'm pretty sure did voice train. She sounds okay. I haven't watched her super recently either. Again, like, I used to really like ContraPoints, but when I watch her on, like, my channel, it's a bit more hit and miss, I find.
So if I were to get FFS, I would want them to kind of fix what's asymmetrical about my face. And this half of the muscles of my face work differently.
I don't think trans is amazing for people's insecurities, I gotta say. I think it kind of tends to add to them, if anything.
Than this half. I sometimes get comments about that, but I still love myself for the way that I am, and I do my hair and my makeup. I express myself in a way that complements, you know, that asymmetry. So if I were to get FFS, I would want to feminize, and also I would want to correct the asymmetries for the most part, because I feel like my natural face is quite feminine. I've always had a very naturally feminine face. Now, the last thing I will talk about, my insecurities, and then we'll just talk more about this topic in regards to the trans community, would have to be my body. I just want to put a warning out there. Anyone who has any trigger warning, if you have any body image issues or things of that nature, just know we're going to be talking about my body and things like that. Body.
You're insecure being trans is just going to make you even more neurotic and insecure. Yeah, I definitely felt that at first. It takes a while to get out of
the image. I've always had like, self-image.
Oh, whose teeth? Because like my teeth are way less straight than this person's. Like, if you can see, I don't know if you can see. I don't like using the big cam because you can like see my teeth, like my bottom teeth. Hang on. Can you see? Like they're not amazing. If I can see what I'm doing, if I have a mirror in front of me, I can like position my lip so it looks like I've just got one tooth sticking up. But I do have a full set, don't worry.
Issues because of how other people have treated me when it came to my body. Ever since I was young, I always dreaded the idea of going through male puberty, being dainty and petite, and I always was that naturally. However...
Oh yeah, as someone who sings, I probably shouldn't have VFS. Probably my technique isn't amazing as it is. I tend to hurt my voice a lot. Kathleen Turner. Your teeth have been knocked out, Jesus Christ. Oh.
Can you believe that Friends has had this resurgence now, right? It's become hugely popular all over again.
It's streaming or something, right?
Yeah, it's streaming now,
that's
right?
right.
Yeah. And you play that
Was she a heavy smoker?
legendary role.
Chandler's dad.
Chandler's dad. Yeah.
But a new generation of fans, though, that may not have seen it the first time around, right?
Well, right now I'm touring a show that I created called Finding My Voice.
Yeah, cool.
People would ridicule me for that, and I had certain family members forcibly feed me to gain muscle, grow larger, stuff like that. And then when I was in high school, I always had a very naturally slim thick. I've always had that build. The whole like BBL thing was very popular, so intentionally I would eat more and do squats and workouts. That way I had more of a curvy build. And I was always actualized as a girl, but I was a boy at the time. I was misgendered when I would go out. Boys would grope me in the locker room, stuff like that. I was always very naturally feminine in my shape. But the thing is, the society has always told you not to love your natural self, and I am naturally a more petite person. And when I started my transition...
It is odd hearing someone sort of say that society makes you not want to like yourself, but we're talking about all the stuff we want to do, It makes me sad in a way.
But the thing is, the society has always told you not to love your natural self, and I am...
Because it sounds like she's been listening, you know what I'm saying?
Naturally a more petite person. And when I started my transition, there's huge encouragement from the trans community to have that extreme curvy figure. And a way that they do that is...
So that sounds quite toxic as well. I guess, is this like the doll stuff? I don't know. I'm not well versed. I've never gotten into any like trans communities really.
Who they stan and who they idolize, right, are these dolls that have pump and all of these surgeries. And silicone pump is so dangerous. And it's changing now, but there wasn't as
Yeah, I'm not seeing an issue with her teeth. Like mine are way worse.
Much recognition and celebration of trans women who didn't have so many plastic surgeries, who didn't have such extreme figures, who were maybe thin or had a normal, natural build, medium build, you know what I'm talking about. The BBL has been glorified by the trans community, and, basically, if you look at all of the stars, right, like the really big stars, like all of them got pump and then they got successful and everyone loved them and they were iconic, right? So there was that mindset. And also there were other people, encouraging me like, oh my God, like I love your curves, you're so curvy. So actually I intentionally tried to get more curvy because that my genetics allowed that. So, I would eat more, I would do more exercises, and I also took this like protein powder that helped with weight gain. I just noticed that like my face started getting like swollen, and I wasn't eating the healthiest because like my focus was on just fitting this, gold standard of a body when my body is naturally petite. My body
Just making it sound like I dodged a bullet, but not really being around these kinds of people, I'm not gonna lie.
is naturally small, and I have been a very fit person. I just told myself, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just trying my hardest to be something that naturally I'm not. Why can't I just love my healthy self? And so I have recently gotten into that self-love of loving myself no matter what size I am, and also eating more healthy and allowing my body to be naturally petite. And I like it. There are so many Hollywood celebrities, models, that have a boxy body or, more thin body. That hasn't been shown much in the trans community. It is changing now, but what has been promoted to us so much is like, you need to get pumped, you need your hips pumped, you need huge implants, you need all of this stuff to be celebrated, right? It's like in the beginning, I said I don't feel like I fit in as like these surged up dolls, and I don't feel like I fit in to the other groups either, and I want to fit in with everyone because like I love my community. But that's what's been pushed, is like celebrated, not pushed in a way, but celebrated. And celebration in a way encourages, celebration pushes, right? Like if you see all of the people you look up to go and do this thing, then you think, oh, well, maybe I should, But the thing is, I now love my natural body, and there's been a big shift. I don't know if you've been able
Yes, stop with the conformity. You don't need it. Be yourself.
to see, but, in the past 6 months, my mind wasn't on, oh, I need more curves. I need this. I need to make sure I'm eating over the amount I should be to maintain that, because my body would lose it. And then, I've went back to my natural petite size. I'm loving it, and this is where I'm going to stay. I don't want to get some, BBL or injections or nothing. A thing that they don't tell you about silicone injections and BBL, first of all, silicone injections are dangerous, and you don't know down the line if you get sick or pass away from having them. Like 10 years, like it shortens your lifespan because you don't know what's going to happen. That's why it's not FDA approved. And then with the BBL, what they don't tell you, there's several factors. Some trans women need multiple to get that, pumped look. Another thing is, you have to maintain your weight. So if let's say you're thin, first of all, you have to gain weight to get the BBL. You gain 20 pounds or something. Then once you get the BBL, you have to keep that weight on, because if you lose the weight, you're going to also lose the weight in the new area. Your butt will shrink, your hips will shrink. You have to maintain that weight. And yes, like the fat cells die, like where they do the lipo, which helps, but also you may gain weight in weird places if they don't liposuction everywhere. Is the thing you need to understand about weight gain and weight loss.
God, and like, I don't know, none of this is necessary. I hope more people feel that way than what she's saying used to. It's like, none of this is necessary. Who was it I was watching that was saying, to be, well, trans communities, like trans people commune on the internet and stuff like that. She probably isn't talking about transsexual communities, but hey. It does appear many trans people have a difficult time being objective about their own appearance, makes them vulnerable to unethical doctors. Yeah, can do. I don't know. I think this person's got work to do, but they seem to be at least understanding that conformity is really not always a good thing, especially not conformity to what you feel is expected of you. Like, you really should just do what makes you happy.
Is you can't spot treat, like if you have a really big face, you can't be like, okay, I want to like lose weight and my face is just going to go down. No, everything goes down all at once. Obviously, some people genetically store weight differently. Yes, some people have more chubbier faces naturally, but like you can't just lose weight in one area, right? If you lose weight in one area, you're going to lose it all over. And that's the same with the BBL. So you can
That's fair enough. Listen, I know less than this person does, so I don't know. I don't know, people come across different kinds of people. Probably depends on a lot of things as to what kind of community you end up coming across.
Lose, if you have to keep that high weight, if you lose it, then it's going to burn those cells off. That's why, like, butt implants and hip
Like, I wonder if she knew, like, lots of drag queens and stuff like that, possibly.
implants, in theory, are better, that they won't shrink with your size. However, there are complications with those as well, especially hip implants, because there's nowhere to attach them. So they're floating and they could, fall. Also with the butt implant, I'm sure you've seen videos of how it's gone wrong. So, and that's the other thing with plastic surgery, is it requires maintenance. It's not something like a one and done all the time. Sometimes, but for men,
Trans ideology fears your body more dysmorphia and eating disorders. Yeah, I can do that. My insistence that I was, like, female, despite knowing that wasn't the case, it didn't, like, fuck me up, but, like, there was a lot of very unhealthy thinking habits. I got very down about, like, my appearance, and I had to really kind of teach myself what actually matters and stuff, because just resembling a woman is really not all there is to life, even if you're trans, even if you're female yourself,
many people, they have to get multiple, and it requires maintenance. I've known trans women getting 4 BBLs. I know 2 trans women who've done that. There's way more than 2, but like 2 that popped in my mind. I just don't want that. It's like, if I can be thin and beautiful, then I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying thin is beautiful. All sizes are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but that's what I naturally am. So that's what I'm going to be. It's okay to have a small chest. It's okay to have medium to narrow hips. Like, all of that stuff is okay. But I'm not insecure about my height. I love my height. I'm 5'8.5". I think tall women are beautiful. Tall women are models. I mean, come on, if you're trans.
We're basically done. Yeah, I don't know. I think I get where she's coming from in general. I think if you're finding yourself obsessing that much about getting the right figure and stuff like that, you probably have fallen in with the wrong people to an extent. It sounds like there's always a new dragon chase. It must be miserable. Yeah, I did feel like that for a long time. But I don't know. It's much easier to just accept reality in my case, I guess. Whenever I did anything magically, I think, like a lot of other trans people, do a lot of research. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's tough. I don't know. The other thing is just going in for surgery after surgery. It is risky in plenty of ways, Like, the more surgeries you have just in general, the more chance you'll experience, like, sepsis and stuff like that. You never encountered those. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. People have got their own stories. I've had plenty of people tell me that they don't know anyone like the kinds of trans people I've come across. And it still happened, But yeah, there you go. Amelia Majesty.